Alex Alonso, Street TV, and I'm here to talk about times where politicians actually ask for the gangs to assist in some sort of endeavor. The first example I have here is the vice mayor of Cudahy, named Cynthia Gonzales, asking for gang members to participate in the ICE protests. Some people interpret that as inciting violence, and other people looked at it as trying to redirect gangs to do something more positive in their community. So here is example number one. The vice mayor of Cudahy um, is being investigated by the feds because of a video she posted on her social media where I guess it can be interpreted she's egging on the gangs. Let's play the clip. I believe that is going to be clip 4 of the vice mayor of Cudahy on her social media.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
She got family members that's gang members for sure.
She grew. I guarantee you.
She grew up around some members.
Whatever high school she went to, she saw it all.
She dated them too.
And her name is Cynthia Gonzales. That an article just posted on KTLA that the LAPD and the Los Angeles Police Union are calling for her resignation right now.
Damn. Damn, she made a mistake, man.
Yeah.
I feel for her.
Yeah.
I feel for her, man. You just worded that wrong, man. You shouldn't have said the gangs by gang names, man. You should say, what's up with the soldiers and the people, you know what I'm saying? Something like, hey, man, I hate she said that because that's a big mistake. Like, because the government, they go nitpick with her now. You know what I'm saying? And they could be like, she trying to incite something or, I mean, but y'all left Trump alone. He had all them people storm the Capitol. He said that in front of the world. I'm gonna be right next to you guys. You go walk right down, and they hit peace officers, people that worked, all that. If y'all left Trump alone, y'all gotta leave her alone, bro.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen though.
I know it ain't, but I gotta throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? Because she said the same thing. Basically, Trump said, "No consequence for Trump." Nah.
Okay, so do you think there is an avenue for Miss Cynthia Gonzales to double down and keep her job and tell everybody to stay off of her? Like Kevin De Leon, the LA council member, did this like 3 or 4 years ago when the audio came out of the racist stuff that these 3 Mexicans were saying. Kevin De Leon was one of them. The other 2 resigned. Kevin De Leon refused to resign, and he was able to keep his job. That wasn't illegal, what he said, but it was definitely racist. I'm not sure if what Cynthia Gonzales said is illegal, but the FBI is investigating her now.
Okay, but she could easily say, these gangs y'all tag on the walls and y'all all about territory, but why y'all not marching with your people? She didn't say that she wanted them to like go to war with them and do no like be violent towards ICE.
Yeah, I think you're right. She has a First Amendment. Even if she would have said, you gang members need to go out there and protest as hard as everybody else.
Right. Instead of being violent in the streets, tagging on walls, and worried about territory y'all don't own, help y'all people march. Because we don't see y'all out there with them. It's just the hardworking immigrants or the civilian immigrants that ain't the gangster ones. And I'm gonna just say that's what she meant, man. And it came out wrong.
Look, this is what the police are saying. They're saying because she cited 18th Street and Florencia, these are the 2 gangs that's probably been indicted and RICO'd more than any Latino gang. They're saying because these are notoriously dangerous Los Angeles-based criminal enterprises, their rule They rule their turfs with intimidation, violence, and murder, and finance their operations through the sale of narcotics and illegal firearms, prostitution, and rackets. So they're gonna use this against her for. She shouldn't have never said a gang name. That's where she messed up.
Right.
Should have just said all you barrios out there, with the graffiti and the vandalism, everything else she said. But she said 18th Street, Florencia, where y'all at?
Man, I hate that she did that.
Yeah, I think that is her mistake, is saying gang names.
I hate that she did that, man. Cause I feel where she coming from, man. You worded that wrong, baby.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. The breaking news, this article I just read just broke like an hour ago, calling for her resignation. 3 hours ago, Fox 11 just posted an interview on her calling that Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzales should resign and be prosecuted over cholos to defend streets comment. Now, I don't know if that's a possibility.
I think she should be forced to resign or face prosecution. If she resigned, don't prosecute her.
I don't. Oh man, that's tough because
that's what they did to Judge Dorn in Englewood. He was forced to resign or face prosecution because he was stealing from the city. They gave him the choice.
Yeah, but that's criminal. Stealing from the city is definitely misappropriation of funds. But it's saying 18th Street, F13, go out there and protest. Is that criminal? But
she didn't say nothing violent. She didn't say go kill nobody or throw a rock at a car like they've been doing. She said, where y'all at?
Yeah, she said, I want to know where all you cholos are at in Los Angeles, 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at?
Right.
I don't think that's criminal.
No, she didn't express no violent anything. She just wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? Use that same leadership you used in your hood to lead these people and march and rally, you know what I'm saying?
And then she said, now your hood is being invaded by the biggest gang there is. There ain't no peep out of you.
But see the government looking at that the wrong way. That could be a shot at Florence in 18.
And then here's the last part. Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now trying to help out and organize.
Who said that? She said that?
Yeah, that was the last part of what
that make it better.
Yeah.
Help out and organize. She didn't say nothing violent.
And she posted this to her TikTok and then she since deleted it, but you know how that go, right?
Man. Yeah, man. I hate she threw specific gang names out there. That's the only mistake she really made, and I hope everything pan out for her.
Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not going to show up right now trying to help out and organize.
The last part make all this sound a little better.
I don't want to hear a peep out of you once they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's, you could interpret this as she's challenging gang members to divert their energy into a legitimate cause,
right,
against a tyrannical government.
Right. Yeah, I man, she need an interview, but I know she don't want to talk right now. She probably getting lawyered up, and you know what I'm saying, making sure she don't have to get prosecuted. But I wish her the best of luck though, and I know she didn't mean it that way.
Well, she wrote in another post that she believes this is her First Amendment right issue. And I agree. I don't think that was illegal what she said.
Right.
But I understand the police are going to be on her head. You need to resign. You need to be fired. And I wonder what her salary is over there, because I remember when Kevin De Leon was being forced to resign. You know, LA City Council members make $200,000 plus a year, something like $16,000 a month, and he had just bought a house. Bro wasn't going to resign. They was picketing in front of his house. And Kevin De Leon stayed until that next election when he got voted out. So right. I don't think she's making the type of money that you would make in Los Angeles as a vice mayor. Vice mayor. I wonder what the vice mayor's salary is. What do you think? Vice mayor's salary in Cudahy. Vice mayor salary. Let me just look this up real quick, because sometimes that will determine whether somebody will step down or not. Because I have my boy who was a council member in Compton. You know, council members in Compton don't make nothing.
Right.
You know, it's not a job.
I think Cudahy is smaller than Compton.
It's not a job you do for the money when you're a council member in Compton. Oh, wow. According to the Cudahy Municipal Code section, each city council member receives a monthly salary of $1,200.
And that's it.
This compensation follows, $1,200, but it also comes with full benefits though. So the benefits is probably worth another $3, $4, $5,000, but actual cash $1,200. That ain't nothing.
No, it ain't.
So I don't know and that means the vice mayor is probably making a little bit. Okay, let's see. Sources indicate that the vice mayor of the Cudahy is a city council member, but the specific salary for the vice mayor is not listed. So it's going to be around that $1,200, maybe a little more than the $1,200 a month.
Probably like $2,500.
And that's similar to Compton. You ain't making no money as a council member in Compton. You ain't getting rich there. You're doing that because you're passionate about your community.
About your city,
Yeah.
Probably born and raised, and you know.
But you're a council member in the city of Los Angeles and making like $200 and something thousand a year. It's insane. So what do you think? Is Cynthia Gonzales going to step down?
I think she about to try to stand on it. She put it out there that's her First Amendment right. I think she gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, lawyer up and stand on it.
Hey, she should have never deleted it then. Let's see. Okay, Mayor Flores from Huntington Park, he says that Cynthia Gonzales is a personal friend. I know her. I know she wouldn't call for violence. Words are important. You have to be careful with what you say and how you say it.
Right.
Boom.
I agree with bro.
So she's got some people already defending her.
Right.
Let's see. In a statement, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, which is a union that represents the LAPD, called for the immediate resignation. They said what Ms. Gonzales urged and taunted these specific gangs to do in her social media posts puts police officers and other law enforcement professionals at greater risk. Her actions are deplorable and potentially illegal. She should resign and she should be prosecuted if what she called for broke the law. See, even the LA Protective League doesn't know if it's illegal because they said...
Because she said they need to get out there and organize.
Yeah, she said in this quote, it could be potentially illegal, and she should be prosecuted if she broke the law. They don't even know.
No, stand on it, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Fight that to the end. You got support from other mayors in the surrounding cities, and you know what I mean. Our governor probably agree with you.
Okay, now I have a second clip where a mayoral candidate from Long Beach named Rogelio Martinez, he actually called on the gangs for some sort of support. But he wasn't as specific as Cynthia Gonzales was from Cudahy. He did not specifically mention gang names.
This mayoral candidate for the city of Long Beach, I don't know if he's a serious candidate, but I think you guys might have some views. But the reason why he's been coming up in the news is because he announced that he wanted all the gang members in the city of Long Beach. He said 55. He had a number. He said 55 gang leaders. I don't even know. Is there 55 gangs in Long Beach? Maybe.
55 gangs or gang leaders?
Well, he referenced the gangs as well. So I think there might be about 50, 55, maybe.
All together, black and brown.
Yeah. He wanted all the leaders to come together because of the recent ICE protests. And just saying that, what's your first thoughts?
If you're a part of a gang, you never come forth as the leader. Gang leaders don't exist. You know what I'm saying? That's what stuck out to me.
Yeah, it's against the law to be a leader.
Yeah, that sounds like entrapment to me.
But I don't. You said the first thing come to mind?
Yeah.
Is this mayor black?
No.
What nationality is he?
I want to say he's a white guy.
You could tell by his last name.
No, I'm gonna play a clip of him in a second where we could see him. He's giving interviews.
Well. If I was him and I was saying it, it'll be coming from a place of lead in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Stand together on this because it ain't right. You know what I mean? And Long Beach is the most diverse city with Cambodians, Asians, Tongans, Mexicans, blacks, everything under the sun. Like, bro, come together, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I get from it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm gonna play this clip so you can get a little insight into where this man's coming from. He gave an interview I found this channel called Jackae Rae. Jackae Rae tracked this guy down on her channel
Hey, Jackie.
from Jackae Rae TV, and she's black. And she asked him, she just wants to know, like, what do you mean? What's going on? So here we go. I take that back. He's a Latino, but he's white presenting. You know how it's very fair skinned Latino.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Rogelio Martinez, a candidate for mayor in Long Beach, has decided to call for the leaders of 55 gang members to meet him at Long Beach City Hall at 5 p.m. Now, normally this is not a story that I would cover, and I wouldn't have covered it had I not seen this story make its way to MSN.com and then eventually make its way to WorldStar. WorldStar does not pick up posts until they go a little bit viral, which is concerning to me. Personally, do I expect this to have any sort of validity to it? Do I expect any gang members to come out? No. But we also don't live in a society where common sense is abounding right now. So I am concerned about what may take place this evening in our city. With that, I'm also concerned at the call, the rally call. Why would this be what anyone, but especially someone who considers themselves a mayoral candidate, why would they make this call? So I called Rogelio myself and I asked him to talk to me about this, and he did. And this is what he had to say.
Well, before we play Rogelio's part, I just wanted to address a couple things that this young lady said. If you're going to be a journalist and you're covering stories, you don't add value to the story just because it went viral or because it made it to WorldStar. You cover stories because they're newsworthy. So, unfortunately, in the social media era, everybody wants to go viral, and something is not important unless it goes viral, quote unquote. And of course, some of the most important stories that need to be covered, the most important stories that most people aren't listening to or watching, are not necessarily viral stories. You know, I don't never use viral as a barometer for a story that I'm going to cover. I cover things that I feel are newsworthy and that are in my niche. And secondly, what's wrong with calling for gang members to make some change? What's wrong with calling for gang members to be productive? Unfortunately, most of us have a warped conception of what your average gang member looks like and what he does. Most gang members are not shooters. Most gang members are not killers. Most gang members have not been to prison. Most gang members are not felons, or I should say violent felons. It's pretty easy to get a felony, but most gang members are not violent offenders. So what's wrong with calling the majority of gangs that do not represent the negative aspects that most people associate with gangs? What's wrong with calling on them? I don't see it as a problem. And let's get back to the video.
Long Beach made headlines recently with the two gardeners that were detained and actually taken into custody by ICE. Have you personally witnessed any confrontations with ICE in the city?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've just been witnessing what the world has been witnessing, which is all of the images, especially of those two gardeners. That's what literally was, for me, the last straw. You know, I was like, you know what? Somebody's got to do something. I'm just a normal person. I'm no one special. I'm a grandfather of two. I have a kid, a failed marriage.
Yo.
I'm not working right now. And I just figured, look, even me, with everything against me, I can do something about this. And so literally I said, you know what? I'm going to make a video that is going to get the attention of the world. And that's the video that I made.
Well, it worked. I have to be honest. Your call to action was not something that I would typically cover because I didn't think it was a good idea. However, once I started seeing it on national news sites, and then when you made WorldStar, which is one of those ones that you really have to kind of go viral a little bit before they pick you up, then I felt like this needed some attention. But when I think of gangs, especially covering what's happening in our city regarding gangs, I felt like this was a terrible idea. So what was your thought process behind this?
I was very meticulous and detailed in every word that I used. If you noticed, I never asked for any violence. Not one time in the video. I never named a gang by name, meaning there is no gangs showing up today. Not one gang is showing up today because I didn't specifically call upon one gang. I made a very purposeful, intentional video to get the world's attention. And I just didn't know how much hate there was in the world for me.
Do you think there's hate in the world for you specifically, or is there an understanding that while you didn't specifically name gangs, gang members, and you did not specifically call for violence, gangs are violent? So you didn't necessarily have to say, violence. You did say we want to do a non-violent meeting of the minds per se, but there are families in Long Beach that have lost loved ones to gang violence. There are people who are still grieving from gang violence. There are communities in our neighborhood. I cover stories all the time about the racially motivated violence from gangs in this city.
Absolutely. And you know what? And those families have every right to backlash at me for the pain that the gangs have caused. It was my only way that I could get the attention that Long Beach needed. Look, right now, my daughter, my grandsons, even my ex-wife live in Long Beach. My little sister was born in Long Beach. Right now, I only care about the community.
Chicago actually has a long history of working with gangs. There's a relationship between the local politicians in Chicago and many of the gang leaders and gang members that have influence and former gang members that have went on and started nonprofit organizations and continue to work with the city. There was a brother named Hal Baskin. He was a gang member in the Englewood section of Chicago. Englewood with an E, not to be confused with Englewood in Los Angeles County. And he went on to create a nonprofit organization and worked with the gangs and eventually worked closely with local government. In fact, back in 1994, Baskin was unapologetic about the role gangs played in neighborhoods impacted by drug trafficking, unemployment, and poverty. Got to remember this. Gangs are a problem, no doubt, but the problems that gangs create are problems caused by unemployment, poverty, and drug trafficking. As Mr. Baskin said back in 1994, he said these so-called gangs are, for the most part, institutions that do positive things. They raise folks, children, act as surrogate parents, serve as protectors of the community. He told a Chicago publication back in 1994. So that concept and that viewpoint might be a little difficult for many people to digest, because all you see about gangs, especially on the internet and especially on the local news, is the violence. But you're only hearing about maybe 10 to 25% of what goes on with gangs in Los Angeles. All right, back to the video.
All right, I'm going to end it there because it's a rather longer clip, but you get the idea of what he basically admitted he was clout chasing. Mm-hmm. So many words, right?
No. I wouldn't. Not clout chasing, though.
Okay, yeah, maybe clout chasing, because clout chasing has a negative connotation.
Yeah.
But that's what he was trying to do something along those lines.
Yeah, he had no malice. He had no malice. It was an attention grabber. It worked.
All right, can I say something controversial based on what she said to him? Mm-hmm. Gangs are not violent. Gang members and gang individuals can be violent, but gangs themselves are not violent. That's my position.
I agree.
And for example, Munchie B, we go back to your heyday, many moons ago.
Right.
Your name was the name out there doing the dirt. You was definitely embracing violent activity at some time in your very far past, right?
Right.
Now, how many people out of 100 guys that you interacted with in Englewood were on your level?
It had to go generations, like my generation.
Yeah. But I'm guessing you can count on less than two hands.
Yeah,
that were on your level.
right.
And how many members you think the Englewood is counted for members of Crenshaw Mafia, Englewood family, all the hoods in Englewood? Hundreds of members, right?
What you mean? Hold on.
Like how many people does the Englewood PD say is an Englewood family? They got a rough number, a rough estimate.
Yeah, they have an estimate of this, and then active, like actually over there, like they got their little numbers or whatever. But everybody ain't that the violent one, bro. That's really like the needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
they be thinking everybody is these. You know what I'm saying?
And my problem with Jackae Rae, and it's not just her, the media makes us think that the gang is violent. If you was to hang out with the gang all day, all week, all month, you'll see that majority of the time there's nothing violent going on except probably smoking some weed, drinking some juice, striking the walls up. But when it comes time to go slide,
It be the same people.
it'd be the same people all the time. It'd be a minority of all of the people that hang out. And sliding don't happen every day.
Yeah, but the fact that it does happen, though, you could say the institutions are violent. It doesn't matter if it's only a few individuals enacting the violence. It's still happening. You guys are under the same umbrella.
Okay, so let's say 15% of a gang is violent. You're going to paint the other 85% who never slide, who never bust their gun, the same way as those 15% that like to slide?
Well, perception is like a simple thing. You're kind of forced to. You know what I'm saying? Like, perception and reality are two different things. Is your average American super violent? But when on the world stage, what are we known as? The military might in the world. We're the guys that get it done. You got a problem, some things are going to get blown up, some people are going to die, and this is going to be our territory now. It's the same thing with gangs. You don't need everybody to be a killer, but if you got 5 solid dudes, yo, we need those 5 blocks down there because the trade is better. So y'all go handle that, and we'll set up shop when you do. There's Marines, there's the Army, the occupiers. It's the same thing with the gang.
Well, everyone in the Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force are trained to bust that gun. They're 100% of the soldiers are trained to slide. Not in the gang. 100% of the gang members don't know how to slide.
Yeah,
Some do it better than others.
true.
And it is a skill that some gang members acquire.
Yeah.
So I would say that your military comparison is a little bit different because, as Munchie could attest, you got dudes that never want to slide, that don't know how to bust a gun, and even if they did go, they probably don't even know how to aim that gun properly. You know, so me studying gangs for as long as I've studied, and you see behind you, there's pretty much every book there's a gang book.
Yeah.
There's another shelf over here. Every book there's a gang book. I've come to learn that majority of the gang isn't violent, even though it's painted with that brush, like she just said, and like you're saying. And you even are saying, even if only 5% of the membership slides, as an entity as themselves, it's a violent entity. So that's a radical statement to say that if 5% of the people slide, them other 95% are getting painted with that same brush.
Yeah, because I feel like violence is like a bell that rings loudly. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about the initial strike and the happening, right? It's like the reverberations of it. Because how do gangs maintain power, right?
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if it's a good idea for me to say the particular gang, but Alex, go pick up on what gang I'm talking about. 70s, all throughout the 80s, and maybe the early 90s. I believe this particular gang, 80% of them was violent. You know what I'm talking about? And they had the most members on death row.
Yeah.
And like that was, you know what I'm saying?
They were a small gang, and I guess everybody had to be a slider.
Right. Back in them days, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they was getting impressed by the Crips.
But you notice that even with the gang you just talking about, and I don't mind saying it because I've said it on other podcasts, the neighborhood family Swans, the 8-9 Swans.
Okay.
It's always the same names coming up. It's the same, it's the same circle of names that come up as being the main active sliders.
And it's crazy because Alex interviewed Bear from East Coast, and he said the names. He said my dad, my uncles. He mentioned Big Time.
You got Ragtime, Big
Big
Time,
Ragtime, Big Time.
Big Evil,
Big Evil, Sinister.
Sinister.
Like he named my uncles and all the names like his name, like and my dad, like.
Yeah.
And look, even with the 8-9 Family Swans, which is probably no doubt historically one of the most violent sliders,
Right.
we're only talking about maybe 10 guys.
Right.
And I'm sure 8-9 Family Swan, it was more than 10 dudes.
It's more than
Nah,
10.
but y'all are letting gangs off too easy. I was literally just talking to somebody about this the other day, like similar with the mafia. You only need 20 guys around, 20 wolves around a flock of sheep to do a lot of damage. The rest of society isn't even capable of these levels.
What's a lot of damage? Because right now, 2025 was one of the least violent years the city
Yeah.
has seen.
Well, not now. We talking about, gladiators from a different time. Even in Munchie's generation, it was starting to become different.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying when we're talking about gangs historically, and especially if we're gonna do percentages, I can make the argument with the Army. What percentage of the American population is a part of the Army? Trained to slide, very small.
Wait,
Very small.
What percent of
the American
Army?
population.
Oh, the American population
is a part of the Army.
No, but you compared the Army to the gang, though. But 100% of the Army is trained to do that.
True, but what I'm saying though is like.
But I think a better comparison, like what you trying to put it, if it's the NBA team, it's really like the big three, the three that do damage. Because if they injure
everybody
the team,
else is playing a role,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
benefit from the violent reputation.
You take one good guy off of an NBA team,
you in trouble.
Falls apart.
it's a wrap.
Yeah,
Right.
it falls apart.
Yeah.
Let LeBron get injured.
Yeah, it's over.
But
So-
they still playing and they still coming out every day.
But then also too, when you kind of take that away from gangs, like okay, they're not violent. Then what are they? Like a lot of the stuff surrounding gang culture is violent. Like even the homies' dads back in the day talking about, yeah, we used to put our lokes on and we used to catch fades, and the first person to get their lokes knocked off, you lost for the day. You couldn't put them back on.
Okay.
That's
So-
not even though it's friendly sparring amongst each other. You keeping your skills sharp and stuff. Normal
you're saying
people ain't doing that.
Gangs are violent in nature, inherently violent in nature.
You kind of have to be.
I disagree, because if I look at gangs 100 years ago, there's some books there that are older than our grandparents that were still considered gangs, but there was no violence.
So,
So
how did
the-
they operate? What were the main functionings? What did they do?
Non-violent activities most of the time.
Break
Gambling.
dance, break dance, graffiti.
No, I'm talking about going back to the 20s and 30s.
Oh, okay.
The violence comes in as violence in America rises. So here's an interesting thing. If you look at a trend line of violence of gangs, and it increases in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you'll see that violence of non-gang members in American society trends up too. So I often link gang violence to traditional American violence regardless. When American crime goes down, guess what? Gang crime goes down. So gang crime and traditional crime peaks and dips similarly.
The health of a society. It's the health of a society.
So gangs are just a reflection of the grander society. So there was a time when America had very little bit of crime. The gangs were involved in very little bit of crime. But as America becomes more violent, so does the gangs. As we use more guns, so do the gangs.
But that's natural, even if we want to look at like our ancestors, primates. When resources are abundant, chimps aren't forming troops and going over to kill other chimps in other areas to eat their fruits and their foliage and stuff. They're just chilling, eating, having kids and stuff. And as the population rises and resources become more scarce, the younger males get together and say, hey, yo, we got to go up the block and go get this food, bro.
Yeah.
Or everybody's going to die here. Like, I operate from the thought process of military age men, age 16 to 42, inherently violent. That violence is going to occur when you have men that are capable of violence. When you get packs of boys running together, they're going to get into some kind of fights, some kind of scuffles. It's human nature. You got to keep their hands busy. You know what I'm saying? Like idle time is the devil's playground. So I believe like humans in general are violent. So when you band them together with a gang and now you start to get a hive mind, we have a goal in mind of maintaining territory, expanding, making more money than people around us, whether there are opposition or not, naturally violence is going to occur because that's the way of the human.
That's true. There's some truth to that. Cause
Yeah.
So would you be reluctant of someone such as Rogelio Martinez is suggesting that can we organize gangs to be productive in certain segments of society, let's say community activism, protest against police brutality, would you be hesitant and reluctant of allowing some gang members to participate in the process of protesting, fighting for your rights, and pushing a different type of agenda?
No, not at all. One thing that stuck out to me, and I see people do this a lot, they try to act like gang members aren't a part of our society, you know? Like, because you say gang member, they automatically put them in like a other category. Some of these dudes are civilians. They never, not civilians, but like they're just performing their civic duty if they decide to go vote or protest. Not everybody's been to jail and can't vote and has their rights, you know, pinholed or whatever. Some of these dudes can go out and do everything that a normal citizen
For the
can
record,
do.
I've been to prison and I vote. You know what I'm saying? So, because some people think they can't vote because they've been to prison before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like gang members are normal people. Munchie has, issues in the news that he probably hears and stuff, and he has a problem with, and he's, wants to be vocal about it. Like, people act like gang members are aliens. Like, yeah, they participate in antisocial behavior, but the reason why we condemn it and punish them is because, like, hey, bro, you a part of this society. You got to do right by the society, and if you do wrong, we got a box for you to sit in. You know what I'm saying? Like, gang members aren't bad people in my mind. They're people that have made bad decisions compounding.
All right, the third example I have for you where a politician has used the assistance of gang members is a recent press conference by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. She wanted to present the data on the homicide numbers, which are dramatically low, and they've been dramatically low for the last several years in Los Angeles. And she wanted to have a press conference, and guess who she's got standing behind her? She called on for all the gang members that work with local government, that work with the city, that work with GRYD, to be a part of this press conference. And there are about a dozen or more gang members, former gang members, interventionist workers that are standing side by side with the mayor of Los Angeles while she's delivering this message. Check out this third and final clip.
Mayor Karen Bass had a press conference to announce how safe Los Angeles is. And according to the city of LA, Los Angeles has a 19% decrease in homicides citywide, dropping to the lowest level since 1966. And let me just read this quick article. It says here that Karen Bass on Tuesday announced significant decrease in violent crime in LA, highlighting new statistics that show a sharp decline in homicides both citywide and in neighborhoods historically affected by gang violence. Bass joined members of the LA City Council and community leaders to release updated crime data, which includes a 27% drop in homicides in areas known as gang reduction and youth development zones. That's your GRYD zones. Those are areas long recognized as among the highest hit by gang-related violence. It took many years to reach this point where I can proudly stand up and say we had a very significant reduction in crime, Bass said. I'm not sure how we are going to do it at the federal level, but at least at the state and county and local levels, the local philanthropy, another tongue twister, philanthropy, we need to make sure that they understand how important this work is and what a tremendous achievement it is to drop the number of homicides down to the levels that we haven't seen since the 1960s. That's from Fernando Rejon, Executive Director of the Urban Peace Institute.
LA Mayor Karen Bass and city leaders are lauding new data that says violent crime dropped significantly in 2025, down to levels not seen since the 1960s. Bass and others held a news conference at City Hall this morning. The latest figures say there was a 27% reduction in homicides last year in neighborhoods most impacted by violence when compared to 2024. That number is 19% citywide, with the total homicides standing at 230. That's the lowest tally recorded since 1966. The mayor says the city's focus on prevention programs and not incarceration is leading to results.
What this work represents is bringing all aspects of our community together and then saying that when we come together in programs like Summer Night Lights, Fall Friday Nights, and our justice fairs, that's the way to prevent and reduce crime.
City leaders say federal funding cuts to mental health and other community programs will put this recent progress reducing crime in jeopardy.
So now what this means, Munchie, is that everybody's going to say that LA is watered down.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the first thing people want to say, right?
Yeah, I get it. They be, oh yeah, LA watered down, Chicago this, Memphis this, New Orleans this. But man, I need to stop trying to compare that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look,
you can't win with people like Poetic Flacco out there. It's either he gonna say that, oh, they not gangster, look how it's down, or he gonna say, oh, he go condemn the gangsters and you know what I mean. And the areas that is a decline, you know, those are great areas. You know what I mean. So like you know you can't even listen to people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean you can't listen to a guy like that at all. He doesn't understand statistics and data and science. But the thing that bothers me is that cities go through inclines and declines all the time.
Right.
And sometimes the most violent city might be East St. Louis. It might be Memphis. It might be somewhere in New Jersey. It might be Detroit. It's different every period. There were times when in the late 80s, LA was the most turned up city, you know? And we should all commend cities' reduction in crime. I mean, that's just the goal, especially if you got kids that are walking these streets, that go to school, that hang out, that go to the burger stand, that walk to the mall. This is what we want for our city. And we should never say, oh, LA is turned down.
New at 11 a.m., the city of LA is talking about new statistics that show violent crime is down. Today, Mayor Karen Bass joined other city leaders to make the announcement. They say that citywide homicides fell nearly 20% last year. That is the lowest level since 1966. Bass also says new 2025 statistics show a drop in homicides in neighborhoods known as gang reduction and youth development zones. Those areas are ones that have been historically hit the hardest by gang violence.
It took many, many years to reach this point here where I can proudly stand up and say that we have had a very significant reduction in crime, a 27 drop in all homicides in 2025.
I'm not sure how we're going to do at the federal level, but at least at the state, county, and local levels and local philanthropy, we need to make sure that they understand how important this work is and what a tremendous achievement it is to drop the number of homicides down to the levels that we haven't seen since the 1960s.
And those are three recent examples where gang members were being called on by some sort of a local politician to push a message. And in that last clip, when Fernando Rejon was speaking, I noticed over his right shoulder, standing in the black hoodie, that's Twin from 107 Hoover. And then over Mr. Rejon's left shoulder, light-skinned guy with the blue shirt on, that's Taco from Payback Crip, standing right behind Mayor Bass. Thanks for tapping in with Street TV.